Hey everybody, and welcome back. I am back. I was on the IL for quite some time there, but hopefully I'm back to getting these videos out. Big shout out to Meg Ruler. Huge thanks to him for getting out videos every single day, sometimes twice a day. I don't know how he does it. So kudos to him. But we are back with a early game slate. We got the 6-game slate here. Weather-wise, that we do have to be paying attention to. This Arizona-Chicago Cubs game, it's looking a little maybe wet. Not sure it's going to be too much rain, but it's going to be an off and on kind of rain day for them. So just make sure you're paying attention to the weather there up until lock. And then the New York Mets-Colorado game, I think it's going to be dry, but it's going to be 40 degrees. They just got all of that snow yesterday, so they got to clear the snow off of the field. So we'll see if they do play this game. It's not going to be like a delay for an hour and then yada yada. Like this one, we're either going to know if it's going to play or not. So yeah. So those are really your two big weather things. It is hot on the East Coast today. The New York game, the Boston game, they're both going to be in the 90s. So some good hitting weather there. So you can kind of see these pitching rankings that I have here. But we'll just go through. We'll go over to DraftKings here so we can kind of see the salaries that we're dealing with. Cortez up at the top, 10.6K. I have him fourth of this high tier just because he's just way too expensive given the matchup and given, the other aces that are on the slate. He's got a brutal matchup going against the White Sox. The White Sox rank third in batting average and third in WRC plus against left-handed pitching this season, which is Cortez. So he's got a brutal matchup. Let me highlight him so you know who we're talking about. He's got a brutal matchup going against Chicago. He would be GPP at best. I don't think he's going to be finding many cash lines here today. Musgrove, he's the second most expensive option. He's kind of just like Cortez in this regard, in that he's too expensive or more expensive than the other aces that are on the slate, and he's more expensive. So he's going to be a GPP only kind of guy for me here. But he's going up against San Francisco, and San Francisco are fourth in the league in batting average against right-handed pitching this season. So both Cortez and Musgrove have very tough matchups, and that's why they're going to be ranked third and fourth of this high tier for me. Next up, I think this is your play of the slate. It's not like 1A and 1B, but it's going to be Rodon and Manoah. Rodon, he got tossed around in his last start against St. Louis. But I think we can just throw that out. I'm willing, like he's got enough of a track record. I mean, just look at what he's been doing this season. So he's got enough of a track record of being an elite pitcher where I'm just not going to let one start scare me away, especially at only 9.6K. Going up against San Diego, so not the worst matchup in the world, not the best matchup in the world, but at 9.6, I think he is a top option on this slate. Manoah, he's going to be your other guy. It's probably going to be these two guys in cash. It's going to be Rodon. It's going to be Manoah as your SP1 and SP2 in cash games. Manoah facing Cincy. The Cincinnati Bats, they have been a little bit better lately. We do have to give them that. But, this is a better matchup than Rodon. Cincy's a better matchup than San Diego. But Manoah doesn't have the K upside that Rodon does. But 600 savings. Regardless, I don't think there's much that you can, swing around these two guys. It's 1A, it's 1B, but Rodon and Manoah, these two guys up here, that's going to be your cash start. Musgrove and Cortez, I would be giving more towards GPP builds. So let's go over to the middle tier. We got Whitlock, Carrasco, and Steele. I think Green is also in there. So let's talk about them. I have them ranked in that order. Whitlock, he's got decent K upside. He's got a 31% strikeout rate so far this season going up against Seattle. The one downfall of Whitlock is that he just doesn't go super deep into games. You can see he's kind of capped at an 80 pitch limit. He's not going to be going past 5 innings. And if he does struggle a little bit, I mean, that 5 innings quickly goes down into 4 innings. And now he's not even in line for a win. So Whitlock, 7,600. It's pretty cheap given the strikeout upside that he does have and the strikeout rate that he has. However, he's not really going deep into games. So, the price is justified at 7.6K. still in the middle tier. I think he's probably your top option. Next, I put Carrasco. Make sure you're paying attention to if this game plays or not. But Carrasco is your historically boom or bust kind of guy. It's not loading on the screen here. Carrasco is your boom or bust kind of pitcher all his career. And we're also seeing it this season as well. 28, -9, 27, 24, like 0.4. So he is ultimate boomer bust, and it's going to be the same way here. It's going to be 40 degrees in Coors. It's going to be cold. So maybe, he has one of his ceiling games. Colorado is much, much, much better against left-handed pitching. They're one of the best hit teams against left-handed pitching. But Carrasco is a righty. So they do struggle a little bit more against them. So Carrasco, GPP only, given Coors Field and everything, but he could have a ceiling game and certainly shine. Steele, going against Arizona. He just played Arizona, got 10 strikeouts against them, 6 innings pitched, 28 DK points. But you can kind of see those 28 DK points are pretty much his entire season's total combined. I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher. He's certainly a solid guy here. His leash is extending. He's up to 90 pitches. He can go pretty deep into the game. So I don't mind him here. I can't guarantee a long leash or anything, but still, given the matchup, given his last start against them, he certainly is intriguing. And then Green, kind of rounding out here, you can kind of see I have him in the fade column. I do not want to be playing Green today. This is the guy who's throwing 104 miles an hour or whatever it is. He's got that K upside, but he can get wild at times. You can see his walk rate is through the roof, and he's got a very, very difficult matchup going up against Toronto. Those things together, already bad. But then, if you look at his last start, he went 118 pitches against the Pirates. That's just insane. It would not shock me if that in this start today, he does struggle a little bit. His arm gets a little more tired a little sooner. And I think Toronto can really knock this guy around. We saw what he is capable of giving up. I mean, 5 home runs against Milwaukee, 2 home runs against Colorado here, 2 home runs. So he's got multi-home run against Danger. Now he's going up against Toronto after 118 pitches. Gives me Toronto, probably my favorite stack of the day, but I'm going to be fading Green. Marquez, I don't know if it's Marquez starting. MLB.com currently has this as a TBD. They don't even know who's technically starting. This is going to be the first game of a doubleheader. So I'm not sure if he does start. I guess he's okay given the weather conditions and given, he's got a decent home stats against, decent home stats at Coors Field, all things considered. Keuchel, going up against the Yankees, this is going to be a complete fade for me. I don't have an interest in him here. He is a ground ball pitcher, but he is going up against the Yankees, who are top 3 in the league in ISO and slugging percentage against left-handed pitching. So they can certainly knock him around for sure. And then Bumgarner and Flexen, they're fine. Given their prices, I think they're okay. I'm not going to be rushing towards them in cash or anything, but if you absolutely need to get down to Bumgarner and Flexen, okay. They've performed fairly well given their salaries here so far this season. So this is the pitcher rankings that I mentioned. Rodon and Manoah, this is where you're going to be starting your cash builds. And if I extend this here, I don't know if I can. Oh, I can't. See, look at that. Technology and me just don't get along. But essentially, it is Manoah and Rodon. It's going to be starting your cash. Yeah, I'm just extending that. Whatever. First video back. I'm so rusty. But Rodon and Manoah, that's going to be your starting cash build. Musgrove and Cortez, they're just too expensive. That's why I have them down in the tier list here. Whitlock, probably my favorite mid-tier guy. But again, he's got that K upside, but he just doesn't go deep into games. Carrasco, GPP only as like a boom or a bust sort of guy. Steele, he did really well against Arizona his last time out. And then if you go down to Flex and Bumgarner, totally fine. Don't mind that. Keuchel and Green, those are the 2 major fades for me. As far as the bats go, Toronto going up against Green, and New York Yankees going up against Keuchel. I just mentioned how good these offenses are against this pitch hand, as well as the struggles that Green can have. And that's why Toronto and New York are going to be my favorite two stacks on the day. In cash games, you can definitely fit in Rodon, and you can fit in Manoah, and you can fit in a Yankee stack and a Toronto stack. So let's go through, just kind of see what we can do. Like for these guys, I'm going to go with Vlad Guerrero. Espinal, he's been doing pretty well. If I can get a nice savings there from the Yankees bat to second base, 3.9K, don't mind that. You know, Donaldson, Bichette's pretty expensive. You might need to go down to Kiner Falefa. And then Judge has been so good this year. He's been great to watch, but you know, 6.1K is super expensive. But like if Hicks is leading off, again, he has done that in the past. You can get him at 2.9K. Tapia, he was in the lineup for Toronto at 2.6K. You know, it's possible. You can certainly get a Yankee stack and a Toronto stack in there. Maybe you do have to like punt one spot, maybe punt catcher, but it's definitely doable. And that's probably where I'm going to be going in cash. As far as GPP, it's going to be San Francisco, and it's going to be the Chicago White Sox going up against Musgrove and Cortez. I mentioned how the Giants are top 3 in batting average and WRC plus against their pitch type, and the Chicago White Sox are also top 3 against that pitch type. I think everybody's going to be flocking towards, you know, either Coors Field or the Toronto and the Yankees. So I think the Giants and the White Sox could get some lower ownership, again, especially going up against Musgrove and Cortez. 2 of the higher profile names on the slate could get some lower ownership, but they got some great numbers against these guys' pitch type. So that kind of wraps up the slate. I don't think I've missed anything. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done a video. I think I'm over a month out. But yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks again for watching. We're going to have another video out for the main slate, I think. If Mega Roller is going to be covering that one. So please go check that out. Support him, and just thank him for all the videos that he's done over the past month. But hopefully we'll be back to getting videos out every day for you. And as always, good luck in your contests, and we will see you in the next video.